to the hottest sports podcast, 910 Sports. 910 Sports. We discuss the latest topics in sports, interview the athletes from all over the country, known and unknown, while spotlighting the youth of today and tomorrow with host Icon E, Mr. Personality Jacob the Great, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire, KB the Amazing, and Steve O, a.k.a. Mr. All Everything Georgia.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon. We're here on 910 Sports, Season 2, Episode 9. I want to thank God for another opportunity to get on here this morning, to be able to, to be able to do this show, this podcast, or whatever. I got my girl on here this morning, Crystal, a.k.a. Miss Wildfire. What's going on?
What's up? What's up?
So basically, before we get all the way started, let me do what they say, housekeeping, so people kind of know where we at in this process as we go along and continue to build this thing up. So basically, we got a few like syndications that we got and people that we partnered up with. For people that know our story from when I first started, I started off with CEV Sports and Network or whatever with Chris and Eric. And, I started 910 Sports Podcast Network and 910 Sports and Entertainment. And so we decided to partner back up with them, you know what I mean? Because it just was a good look, especially after they came on the last couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, we decided to partner back up with CEV Sports Network. We still doing 910 Sports, but we partnered back up with them. So we also have them, and then we also have a couple of other stations that we partnered up with too. We got the Independent Chicks Entertainment. So that's a radio station out of Mississippi that they'll be playing our show in Mississippi also. So that's one station that we got, and then we also got another station. And this one's out of Atlanta. It used to be B-Soul Radio, but we ended up that she ended up leaving, that platform and started her own thing called She Real Radio. So you can see that right down here. So we got She Real Radio. So throughout the episode, you're gonna see it change to different platforms, and then of course we next level DJs. So where you see that in the top right-hand corner. So we got next level DJs that we partnered up with too. So I just wanted to give everybody a quick spiel on everybody that we deal with and how we move in or whatever to continue to build this thing up or whatever. And there's going to be some other stuff that's going to continue to come that's going to help us build this platform up or whatever. So anyway, man, we're going to get into some sports this morning. Over the weekend, have you been keeping up with like some of the preseason games?
Yeah, I watched Tampa yesterday when I went out to eat. I watched Tampa, and who did they play?
Who did Tampa play? I'm not sure who Tampa played yesterday. Because see, I'm gonna tell you something about me with preseason games. It's hard for me to really assess the preseason games because a lot of times the starters don't play. Or whatever, so it's kind of hard to assess it. Now, yesterday I watched Washington and I watched the Kansas City Chiefs, and Patrick Mahomes played, Carson Wentz played, and I'm not gonna lie, I was not pleased with what I see out of Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz was slow, he looked undecisive, he just didn't look like Tyler Haneke looked more into it and more like. He looked like he was more confident in what he was doing or whatever, and where to place the ball at, even through a touchdown while he was out there. And, and I don't know how many second string players he was playing against, but I just looked at the fact of how they looked. I didn't really go by who was out there, who wasn't. So That was the main thing for me. So I don't. Hopefully, it'll right itself before week 1, and Carson Wentz can look a little bit better than what he was looking. But like I said last night, he was looking very. Carson was looking very suspect out there. So I was just like, we about to see, or whatever. Um, so before we get all the way into like football talk and all that kind of stuff, I say hi to our Mama fans on TikTok also. How y'all doing this morning? But yeah, before we get all the way into, I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back to the trade situation and the whole thing with. No, you know what? Let's get into the Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson situation. Basically, it went from 6 games to 11 games. To me personally, I think to me, I know a lot of people probably agree with it. Probably even think he should have got more time. The reason why I disagree with it, because I just feel like it's almost like in a criminal situation when you get convicted of a crime and then you get convicted twice for the same crime. So if I go into a courthouse and I go on trial and the justice say, let's just say I go to trial for murder, and for whatever reason I plead out and the judge only give me 10 years, then yeah, people gonna be in uproar, people gonna be upset, and they're gonna be mad about it, and oh, that's not fair, and it should have got more time, whatever the case may be. Um, it's like the whole George Floyd situation. You know what I mean? A lot of people thought it was like, oh, it's a great day. The officer got 15 years or whatever it was. I want to thank you. Got 15 years or whatever it was, and I'm just thinking to myself, no, that wasn't that to me. I felt like it should have been more time. You know what I mean? But that's just me, and I just feel like that Deshaun Watson, if he agreed to do everything y'all asked him to do, and y'all still decide to go back and then convict him again for the same thing or whatever, and y'all brought this judge in to oversee the whole matters, I think it should have been left alone. I don't think it was. I don't think it was. I ain't gonna say fair to Deshaun Watson, but I just don't think that it sets a good. It seems like you still don't know what you're doing. So what's your assessment of the whole thing?
Well, you have a right to appeal, right? So they're not. It's not him. It's not double jeopardy. It's not them trying him again for the same crimes. It's them appealing what the sentencing was basically, and they have a right to do that. Just as if he didn't like the 6 games, he could have appealed it and got it down to 4 if he won. So it's the same thing. The more I think about it, he probably should have got a season. So 11 is actually probably pretty good with including the $5 million. I think he got a $5 million fine or something. And then all these things he got to agree to, because the more the evidence and his behavior about it, then obviously he still saying he's innocent, obviously. He just want to get it over with. And I think we talked about that before.
Mm-hmm.
You go ahead and pay it out so you can, be done with it. You ain't got to deal with it. But like 30 women or 29 or whatever it is. And
25 was what I know it was at the time of the case.
20, whatever. Like, that's a lot. And then to have been, he was paid. At first I was just like, oh, well, he already sat out a year, but he was getting paid to sit out. And they were also partially protecting that they were going to trade him, and they didn't want him to get hurt. So I'm okay with the 11 games because it feels like he's a perv. I know this thing is the most horrible thing to do. Is what he did, but he does seem like a pervert. And so I'm good with 11 games because it's a little weird. It's a little weird. And then they have that. Who has that many masseuses? Seriously.
Yeah.
Who has that many masseuses? And I'm ready for Houston to get, I don't know if they already did, but they own some of that too. They knew what he was doing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So the NFL needs to take a Houston need to be punished, fined, whatever it is. But 60 masseuses over, come on now. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah, but see, the thing about it was the judge basically was saying that there wasn't enough. The reason why the judge made it 6 games because the judge said it wasn't enough there criminally to go any further than what she's seen, and it was certain laws or certain like rules within the NFL's guidelines that
Mm-hmm.
didn't warrant her to give him more games because actually they said it could even been to the point where they wouldn't going to give him any time at all, like give him any, like suspend him at all. It was that was on the table, like seriously on the table because the judge was looking at it like based on y'all laws or whatever in the NFL, and based on what I'm seeing in this case, there's not enough there for us to suspend him or whatever, especially when none of it's criminal. You know what I mean? All this is like a civil situation at this point because people got to realize something. At the end of the day, when a judge looks at some evidence and they even tell you when you like as a lawyer or whatever or the jury, you can't go off of what you perceive to be guilt or innocent. You have to go off of what at the end of the day. So once they settle out of settle on a civil matter versus a criminal matter, the judge is only going by what civilly was determined to be the situation. She can't go by all the other stuff that people kind of like we knew about in the news to say, okay, well, this possibly could have happened and that possibly could have happened. No, she's going by what the evidence that was kind of like proven or put out there. So let's just say, for argument's sake, if I murder somebody, and let's just say, I say, I go in and I set the whole murder up, and I go in the house and I kill 3 people, or whatever the case may be. But when I plead out, to something lesser. I just say, well, it was this or was something totally different. So the judge can only go by that. They can't go by what was assumed to be the situation. So I think that's why a lot of people is in uproar because they looking at it from a criminal situation and what he's saying. And then the thing about it is you got to realize something. Deshaun Watson is still kind of saying he's innocent at the end of the day. So it's kind of crazy to me when people say, oh, well, he's not showing any remorse to what's going on. And I'm like, well, what if I'm innocent, if I feel like I'm innocent, I'm not saying he's innocent or guilty. Because you know what I'm saying? But if I'm innocent or something, if I feel like I'm innocent or something, why would I show remorse or something? Because at the end of the day, he's probably looking at, I feel like I'm being railroaded. I'm being put through all of this. So I'm just much of a victim as they are. You know what I'm saying? In his eyes. You know what I'm saying? So people want him to go on TV and apologize and do all this. And like, you heard a lot of the analysts say is if he went on there and would apologize too early, it would have looked like he was guilty from the beginning. Because no matter, like it's like Shannon Sharp said, no matter how much time he would have got, no matter how much remorse he shows, no matter what goes on, it's going to be people that's going to still be unhappy for the outcome. If he would have got a year, some people would say he should have got life. You know what I'm saying? So no matter what the situation, especially women who have been abused and mistreated or whatever in these situations, you know what I mean, or whatever. So at the end of the day, he really couldn't win in this situation no matter what he did. So my biggest thing is that and I remember I told y'all this 6 months ago. I said he need to go ahead and just plead out 6 months ago. I said because they're just gonna keep dragging on and on and on, and the longer it goes, the worse it's gonna get. You know what I'm saying? And it got worse because it went from a few women to all of a sudden it ballooned to 25. And I think at some point, even his lawyer probably told him, this is too much. You need to settle this thing one way or another or whatever. So, I mean, 11 games is cool. Now, from the 11 games, do you think they should go out and get Jimmy Garoppolo or should they ride it out with Jacoby Brissett?
I don't know because I actually trust Jacoby. And I guess only if you in training camp do you know whether you do or don't. You know what I'm saying? But I trust him though. I think Jacoby can hold it down, but he could get hurt. So obviously you need some type of, somebody else just in case. So depending on the price, if you depending on the price, I think I would go get him.
Well, I heard it could be anywhere from a 5th to a 6th round pick. You know what I mean, or whatever. Because I think that's what what's the name? Baker Mayfield got traded for. It was like a 5th rounder. So they said it probably be about a 5th or 6th round pick in this situation. Um, so to me personally, it just depends on how Cleveland looking at it. If Cleveland looking at it where they feel like they can still maybe somewhat win and be in contention over those last 6 games or whatever, then I would say maybe go out and get a Jimmy Garoppolo. If you kind of just like saying, you know what, it is what it is, whatever happens, happens, and where we at by time Deshaun Watson get back, then then you could go that route. You know what I mean? So, because it's kind of funny. It's funny because they were saying that the way it ended up at 11 games because of the scheduling of it. That was the assumption of because they didn't want his first game to be back to be Brady, or whatever, and they didn't want it to be like this big storyline with Brady and him in the same storyline. And I guess they were saying it's allegedly Brady basically I guess had something to say about it. I don't know how, but Brady basically like I don't want my name attached to this situation, which I don't know how true that is as far as like I get on the NFL side with the scheduling and the branding of it, but I don't know how true it is with them saying Brady would have something to say about it in that regard in that situation because it end up being his first game back is going to end up being against the Houston Texans, which to me I said NFL dirty because I was like they would
Right.
let this go right back into the gauntlet on his first game where he gonna have to deal with the fans booing him and the whole. I mean, yeah, he gonna get booed in every stadium you go into, but for you to have to be your first game back against the team that you just basically say I want out and the whole nine, I was like the NFL a little bit dirty for that. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, y'all just being petty now.
But how would they know that? How would they know that though?
Who?
When they made the schedule. The schedule's been out though.
That's what I'm saying. So, but I'm saying when they suspended him, they looked at
The
the
schedule
schedule.
was already out, is what I'm saying. By the time they suspended him, by the time he got 11 games, the schedule had already been out. So that's what I'm saying. So how would they know that that's what would happen?
How would they know that it would fall into play where he would be coming back at that game and on that particular game?
Right. Yeah.
Because if they suspended him, think about it. They were saying, okay, it could be 6 games, it could be up to 12 games, it could be up to a year. So they suspended him, and then they go back and say, okay, well, when he comes back, this is the week he's coming back on. You don't think because you got to think about the partnerships that they got with different networks and all that. Yeah, so you don't think they looked at the schedule and said, okay, when would he be coming back? Oh, he coming back this week. So it's kind of like like a double-edged sword or a catch-22 to it. One, we throwing him right into the lion's den, and two, we still gonna be able to get the I guess you're gonna say the attention of it because he is going back to where he started. So it's like they getting like their way twice. You know what I'm saying? It's like they making him look bad. You know what I'm saying? And being petty, but at the same time they know that especially in that market because basically a game like that because I think it's like a couple other big games that weekend. So basically it's going to really mainly just be the Cleveland market. The Cleveland market, probably the whole Ohio market that's going to see the game national on their networks. And then, of course, Houston's going to see the games in their network or that whole area right there. So you're talking about the whole pretty much Texas going to see the game on their networks or whatever, especially like San Antonio, depending on what time Dallas plays that day. It could be all throughout the whole Texas area before that particular game. So that's why I was saying from that standpoint, it's kind of crazy from that standpoint. So going on to your team, let's talk about your team a little bit. So how are you feeling about the Patriots and what's going on? Because to me, it sound a little bit what you call narcissist with your boy Bill Belichick. You got 2 offensive coordinators that you don't know who's going to be offensive coordinator. Which I've been watching football for 30-something years. I've never seen nothing like this before. like you basically like auditioning offensive coordinators at the beginning of the season. I've never seen that before. So, what you think about this whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't understand it. I thought maybe it was he want to call the plays or something, but I understand he's more of a defensive guy, whatever. I don't know. I don't know. It take two people to replace McDaniels. I don't really understand it. So, but I'm gonna trust Bill though. I'm gonna trust him. Does he know what he's doing? I mean, we don't look terrible though.
You said y'all don't look terrible.
Yeah, we don't look terrible.
Well, see, it's a couple of things with it. One, well, you got Matt Patricia, and you got what's the other guy? The other one guy's name. But both of them have been offensive coordinators before, so that's the biggest problem in the whole thing. So if both of them been offensive coordinators in the past, I would see it kind of making a little bit more sense. And then two, they were saying that basically, if you know Bill Belichick, when the game starts anyway, he's going to be, the one that's going to be calling the plays during the game and whatever, I guess whatever designs it is, he's going to actually be the ones making the final decision on the play calling during the game or whatever. I don't know how true that is or not or whatever. But my thing is Mac Jones is still a young quarterback. If this was like a Brady or Aaron Rodgers or even a Patrick Mahomes, maybe, then I would say, okay, it may not be as bad because they kind of know how to control the game and maybe they can call the plays that they feel comfortable with while they're on the field or whatever. But being that Mac Jones is still trying to figure this offense out, and of course he went from one coordinator to another coordinator, and I do feel like I think Josh McDaniel does a good job of making his making his quarterbacks feel, comfortable out there on the field. So I just feel like in practice, if Matt Patricia and the other coordinator is calling the plays, and then they get into the game, and Bill Belichick wants to go a whole different way or whatever. So because they definitely have to figure out the first 10 plays as a group going into that game, because most people know that NFL teams have, I think it's like the first 10 plays scripted or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why when a lot of times when you're watching a football game, it seems like the offense is clicking the first drive a lot of times because they already know, okay, we see the plays we're gonna run starting off, and then it kind of get into a lot. And then after that, it kind of looks a little choppy after that because they got to figure out what worked off for the first 10 and what didn't work off the first 10 or whatever. So what's going on, KB?
What up with y'all? Sorry, man.
Yeah, we just here talking about different things we've seen over the preseason weekend. I know you really be heavy into it. Watching. We already talked about the Washington Chiefs game. We talking about the Patriots and their like concerns, and we already talked a little bit about Deshaun Watson. So you can kind of jump in and give your spiel on all three if you want.
Well, I didn't really watch the Chiefs game like that. Matter of fact, I think it was blacked out in my area. Gotta love Texas. Like it's trash. The Deshaun Watson thing. I think personally, like as a person, he should have got longer. But business wise, I understand it's one of those things where it's like you really ain't got enough proof to prove a case. You know what I'm saying? So him getting 11 games, I think they're happy with it because they planned on him being gone the whole year, but only paying him $1 million his first season. So with him being gone 11, and they have a backup in with Jacoby Brissett, who's still serviceable. So I think they out of those 11 games, they could still come out and be 7-4, 10, was it 8-3? You know what I'm saying? Like they can still be pretty good. And then what was the last game? The Patriots game.
Yeah, the Patriots. So before we move on to that, so you got that much confidence in Jacoby Brissett where you feel like he could be 8-3-7-4 quarterback?
It's not so much that I think he's great. I think he's a solid game manager. Everywhere he's been, when he was with the Colts, he did good enough. Like he won't. If you ask him, like, all right, man, we need you to go out and go 35 times a game, 40. No, that's not Jacoby Brissett. He needs to throw about 22 times a game, and you need to hand off to Nick Chubb for the rest of the time. And they have guys around him that can get busy, and their defense on paper looks great. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things where the Browns look good on paper. They have the names, they have players who have the accolades. So you would think that they would be able to withstand, you know what I'm saying, the first half of a season pretty well. So, you toss up some games to, them losing, but a serviceable quarterback with the Browns will do a lot better than a guy like Baker, who was just doing his own thing.
So you don't think they should go out and try to get Jimmy G?
No, because Deshaun's coming back. Like if he was hurt, like say Deshaun was hurt, and you're like, I don't know when he's going to come back. It's a thing that can linger on. Then potentially you bring in Jimmy G, but you're going to be going for 11 games, and they planned for it. So if they didn't plan for him being out, then I could see it. But like his salary out of all the money, his first year is only $1 million. So they planned on him being out the whole year.
Okay, so let me ask y'all both this question. Let's just say, for argument's sake, they get to that week 11, whatever, them 11 games. Let's just say they 2-9 or whatever. Would you play Deshaun Watson, or would you hold him out until next year?
No, he playing.
Yeah, you gotta play.
So you would play him the last 6 games if they was like 2-9 or 1-10 or something crazy.
You gotta get that wrestling, my boy.
Okay. I was just asking. I mean, I kind of feel the same way just because of the fact he's been out so long. You got to give him some kind of time and hope he don't get hurt over the last 6 games. Because the one thing about Deshaun Watson is he is shown the capacity to be a pretty tough player. You know what I mean? Because I've seen that joker take some shots, like especially when he was at Clemson and they was playing in them Alabama games. He was taking some shots, and he was getting up slow, like he was a boxer on the 8 count sometime, but he was getting up. You know what I'm saying? But so, and also we were saying that once he had got suspended, or whatever, and he did the press conference the other day. A lot of people say he didn't show enough remorse or whatever from what happened. I was like, because he don't think he's guilty. Like it's almost like, and I don't want to put him in the same category, but it's kind of like a lightly version of it, as far as like a R. Kelly situation, where it's like one of those things where most people think he did something wrong. And when a person like that who doesn't really think they did something wrong, their body language and the way they approach it is not going to be what we like, because in their mind, they're innocent. So if I'm innocent of something and I feel like I did nothing wrong, you know what I'm saying? Because even it got even to the point where the NFL was saying, I guess Roger Goodell said he has to go to some kind of,
counseling. He got to go to
counseling. Or what, I don't even know what kind of counseling is considered, but it's some kind of counseling he has to go to that I guess maybe cures him of this or whatever. I don't know, but whatever it is, and if he refuses to go or doesn't go on like he's supposed to, they can add more games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he has to pass it, or he could get more games or whatever. Like he has to go to a psychiatrist or something.
Yeah.
This says the corrective action. Like we're making you do this, so in the future this shouldn't be a problem again, type thing.
And I think they also put in this situation where he can only get massages that the team provides, because I think
he shouldn't even be worried about no massages no more. Just leave massages out.
Well, he still needed for to recover each week, but I mean,
get the massage gun like I got and massage yourself.
You know what?
You get a girlfriend,
but they have trainers for that.
And let her do it.
They have team masseuse. Like I used to work with a girl at Bank of America who did it for the Falcons. That was her job. She was the album masseuse for the Falcons. The players come to me when they want massages. She just need to go to the team issued masseuse.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How long? This ain't the spot. If you want to do all that,
I wouldn't even do that. I wouldn't even do that. So what if she say something so she can get a little coin out of there? No.
This what I would do. I would go to the team masseuse, and I would have one of the other staff people in the room at the same time. So whoever's on the staff, they basically assign a staffer to be in the room at the same time he getting his massages, and the camera on in the whole nine. Put the camera on.
The camera got to be on.
Yeah, the camera definitely got to be on, and it got to be. And I would have somebody in there like sitting in. You know, I mean, I hate to say it, but if he got to babysit him like that, well, he has to have. But it's for his protection too, not just the masseuse protection. But I would have somebody sitting in there, you know, or making sure that, you know, there's no funny business going on or whatever or whatever with the camera.
Now, do you think this will have the effect? Like I was joking in a group chat, and you remember when Tiger was cheating on his woman with all them soccer moms?
Yeah,
and he was killing it. And then as soon as he got caught and he wasn't in like that cheating mode, that excitement, his game was never the same. Like, I mean, of course he had injuries happen, but he was never the same Tiger.
Are you really blaming Tiger's downfall on?
Well, damn, Steve just gonna come on and say, "Hey,
I'm just going to make sure right before I said anything. Are you really blaming Tiger's downfall on?
Do you think Deshaun could have that same, like, because sometimes a person needs that thing, you know what I'm saying? And maybe that massages were his thing, and without getting those, it may kind of throw him off mentally.
So Tiger lost his superpowers because he stopped cheating. Okay, I got you.
Yeah. That
was y'all. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. I'm late. Man, we gotta get the time right because I'm thinking 9 o'clock, 9:15. We're gonna switch to 8. I forgot.
It ain't never been that time.
You ain't never changed.
Oh, it ain't never been 9. My bad.
We ain't never changed on Sunday. Stop playing.
Oh, okay.
you like that kid that come to school talking about, I thought we supposed to be at 8:30 today. No,
right? You know what I'm
saying? Oh, no Sunday. Stop playing, Steve.
I'm late.
Exactly. Just say you late. We've been doing it for a whole year. We ain't never changed the Sunday time. So don't go come here and talk about, we need to get the time right. Don't get your time right.
Yeah, my time off.
Anyway, you know what that's a good question, KB, because that's tricky. Because the reason why it's tricky because you never know mentally what a player goes through after something like this or whatever. So you just never know how. I'm not going to necessarily say what happened. I do agree, Steve, and I'm gonna tell you why I do kind of agree with what KB is saying about Tiger Woods, because Tiger Woods, you got to think, Tiger Woods went from being what's the kid off of like being Leave It to Beaver. He went from being Nickelodeon. He went from being the clean cut guy everybody loved to all of a sudden he went from being when Chris Brown first came out to post Rihanna Chris Brown. So he went from being this good guy to all of a sudden this bad boy overnight, which I thought was very unfair to Tiger Woods, because at the end of the day, what he did was nothing different than any other ball player, athlete, entertainer does. Like, you don't think them old freaky, nasty men in golf, you don't think they sleeping with 5-10 women all in the strip clubs and sleeping with whoever they can touch?
Phil Nicholson would never.
Huh?
Phil Nicholson would never.
Okay. Okay. So you don't think, I'm telling you, my dad used to be a caddy. I'm telling you, his story. I'm telling you, them old men, come on, man. They got power and money and think they can have whatever they wanted. Yeah. Tiger Woods was falling in the line just like everybody else out there. He just the one that got caught, but they put him on this pedestal that he really should have never been on, not as far as like his personal life. His personal life shouldn't have had nothing to do with what he's doing on the golf course. And you know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan was the same way. Michael Jordan probably was worse than Tiger Woods was. It just wasn't on social media back then. You know what I'm saying? So I guarantee you Michael Jordan would have got caught up. It would have been probably the same type of backlash if he would have got caught up on a situation like this. Just because then when they put these guys on these pedestals and when they do anything wrong outside of their normal situation, like let's say LeBron James right now, if he got caught with 10 strippers in the club now, you know how bad it would be after all this thing that, oh, he's just a perfect husband and perfect father and this, that, and the third, and that. Shoot, as bad as they already get on a basketball court, oh man, this would ruin him. He had to retire. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that's real. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, because and you know what? And speaking of which, what do y'all feel are like? What's y'all thing? Because this is the reason why I ride for LeBron James the way I do. Because I don't like when people. I feel like sometimes it's almost borderline bullying sometimes in his career. And this whole thing with his son, I think that Skip Bayless tried to clean it up, but he would, to me, I felt like he was being a little bit too much. And so what do y'all feel about the way he kind of like came at him on that situation? Right. Like, because y'all heard about what he said about the son. Oh, you should have dunked it with the left and you dunked it with the right and all this. Like,
it looked better dunking it with the right hand. Anyway, yeah. Skip Bayless crazy. It looked better dunking it with the right hand because the ball was right up under him. If he went with the left hand, he had to bring it all the way around the boy. So Skip Bayless just hate, man. I don't know what Skip Bayless got against LeBron or what LeBron maybe didn't shake your hand when he was in high school or something. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is, it's kind of like at this point, it's getting like out of control. Like you start talking about the man kids. Like, what do you draw the line at?
Yeah.
You talk about his kid.
Even his wife got onto him about it. He said that's what made him, because he's like, I don't really get on social media like that here, whatever. But he was like, his wife, I guess, seen it and it was like, Skip, you need to, basically you need to ease up off this kid. And then he was like, well, I wasn't meaning it in a negative way or whatever. I thought it was, but what you mean you didn't mean it? You said something about it, and then you said, well, your dad would have did this. How you think it was gonna come across? Especially you smart enough to know how that was gonna come across.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And then due to the fact that you know what I'm saying, that how you've been over the years, then this is what he said. He said, and this is how he kind of tried to, where when I was almost about to give him the benefit of the doubt, when he said, well, I had to tell my wife that Bronny's about to be 18. So once he's 18, you know what I'm saying, he can get criticized like everybody else. He's like, that's how it works in sports. Well, first of all, he's not 18 yet. And secondly, if that's your excuse for it, then we already know there was some bull job when you said it. You know what I'm saying? That you tried to clean it up because people was jumping on your head about it. You know what I'm saying? Because I still say, you know what I mean, the only way if I was LeBron or Draymond or any of these players, if they got platforms, okay, you want to sit down, have a real sit down, talk conversation, come in my platform. I'm not coming to Undisputed and give y'all more viewerships, more viewers. You come over here.
You can bring that nigga on my show. Like, Skip is the worst. Skip the worst. I wouldn't even address that, man. Like, I wouldn't even address him. If I address him, it'll be something private where he can't, all he can do is talk about hearsay or some shit. Like, I'm not giving him the benefit of the doubt to at that man.
Yeah. So Steve, what I know you probably watched a few preseason games. What's your assessment of what you've seen this weekend?
I don't know how the Falcons are ranked the worst team in the league when the Seattle Seahawks out here. To see how the Seahawks look like. I mean, I'm serious. They look real bad. Like having Drew Lock and what's that boy? Geno Smith at quarterback. Man, they might go 0-17 or 0-16 for real.
Really?
Yeah. Or one
that bad, man.
Y'all think it's that bad?
Yeah, see how the defense looks that bad, bro. You remember you got Bobby Wagner's gone. You have nobody left from the boom, period.
Look how bad they look with Russ.
Yeah, now Russ is gone. So you take that element away. I don't know why Metcalf re-signed. I mean,
the money.
Yeah, I didn't get that one either. Like, bro, like you Corinne, you were committing career suicide by re-signing to a team that you don't have nobody to throw you in the ball, unless you feel like, let's just say they go 1-16 or 2-15, whatever they go, and then they go out and they get Bryce Young or they get one of these quarterbacks and they come in and kind of light it up their first year. But that's an assumption. Like, we don't know Because think about quarterback play. When you put a quarterback in a bad situation, I don't care how good you were in college, that first couple of years may be a struggle. Look at Trevor Lawrence. Trevor Lawrence situation, you know what I mean? We all believe Trevor Lawrence is better than what we seen last year. But he was put in a situation not just on the field, but Urban Meyer, he just that whole thing was bad.
I mean, I think it's easier to sell DK in the sense of being like, look, we want to take a step back this year, but we're going to rely on you. You're the best wide receiver in the league, and he probably has that. I don't care who's the quarterback, just throw me the ball type mentality. And it sounds good, but
yeah. So he get on the sideline throwing the test.
It ain't gonna happen. But I mean, their wide receiver core is still him and Lockett, and they have weapons at the tight end position. But it's just one of them things. You're like, look, we're gonna hold off. Maybe trade for Jimmy G. They may have told him like, hey man, we're gonna.
Yeah, that's the team I can see doing that.
We're just gonna try to get to solidify. We have 2 first-round picks. We'll move up in the top 5 to get a franchise quarterback for you next year and try to get a serviceable guy. Because you can get Geno, you can get the guy whoever loses the job, and Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Like you have options. You can even get Wentz from Washington when Howard wins the job. Like there's options out there for you.
I think I told Icon Sam Howard gonna win that job. That boy looking.
I would say is Carson Wentz looking like he about 35 yesterday. I don't know what the hell was going on. I'm like, bro, Tyler Heineke looked more control of the pocket, more control.
I like Heineke, man.
Me too. I think they selling them short, but I like Sam Howell better than Heineke because if you're already gonna have to go out there with a Heineke or Sam Howell, I'd rather let the rookie go take his lumps. Me personally. Then let Heineke go out there.
If he was probably a first round pick, they probably would. But I think they're gonna let him ease in slowly because they didn't invest a whole lot into him right now. So I think they're gonna kind of if they do decide to go that route, because I do think at the end of the day, let's just say Carson Wentz struggles and we like 1-5 or something like that. I think that, but at that point you got to throw Sam Howell in there to see what you got, to see if it's going to make sense to go get another quarterback next year or to try to ride with him. You never know. He might be 1-5 and Sam Howell go out there and we go on a 5-6 game winning streak or something and he lighten up the world. And then all of a sudden you got your franchise quarterback, because, franchise quarterback doesn't necessarily got to be a first round pick. It just got to be, somebody that never know. We've seen it time and time again where a player comes from a different round and it wasn't highly, recruited or highly, sought out, and then they ended up being one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So you just never know with that type of situation. But I would say if Carson Wentz struggles, even if we win in games because of our defense or other reasons, and let's just say we 3-3, but Carson Wentz looking like he causing more losses than he is, like he caused the losses more than helping with the wins, then they might still have to switch out, or whatever. So it's kind of one of those things, kind of like when Kansas City, when they finally moved on from Alex Smith, it was like, yeah, Alex Smith was decent, he was good, but we got this kid on the sideline, we might have to go with him. What I'm saying? So, I think it might be one of those things. But I would say with Seattle, what I would do is let's just say they get the trade deadline week. But I think this year, trade deadline to go, it's just like around week 8 or 9 instead of week 6 like it used to be. So let's just say they get there and they 1-7 or 0-8 or whatever. What I would do is I would trade DK Metcalf maybe for a first round pick or a second. And then I don't know, he may go for a second. I don't know what he would go for.
He's going for some pieces.
So that's what I'm saying. So this is what I would do. I would trade him for a first. And the reason why I say that, because what you can do is let's say you go in the draft next year, you get your Bryce Young. Then you get, every year we know 6-7 wide receivers come out. So then now you come in, you get your sort of like the same thing you've seen over the last couple of years. Teams, they got Trevor Lawrence, they got Travis Etienne. When Burrow came, they went and got Jamar Chase. So then let's say you get Bryce Young, and I don't know if Alabama's going to have a stud receiver this year. You know what I'm saying? You go get another stud receiver.
Jermaine Burton.
Huh?
I mean,
a couple of them that just Alabama.
The only team that would take, so like And to get rid of DK, it's going to be a team that's a contender, right? A team that's like, we just need one receiver to take us over the top. Realistically, that first round pick you get from them is going to be a late pick. So you're not going to get that. You may, if somebody slides like a Pickens or something, but realistically, you're not going to get a stud 25, 26 or later. You know what I'm saying? So, and you're going to take that cap hit. Like, you just signed him to a huge contract.
Yeah, DK just took a
mean cap hit. It's just like, at this point, when they signed him, it's like all right, we're keeping him. They already have 2 first-round picks. I mean, you look at the Texans, and they have a guy, Sean Davis, playing quarterback, but nobody knows. Nobody has any idea of who this guy is, where he came from. But they're like, hey, he's our guy this year, and they're riding with him. I just think Washington.
So you saying Seattle already has 2 first-round picks?
Yeah, well, yeah. When they traded Russ, they got.
Okay. Well, so they could still go out and get a wide receiver, or they can go out and get an offensive lineman, depending on what that pick falls.
Yeah, that's what they need.
They need to sign like a Jimmy G, and then they need to get like 2 stud offensive linemen.
Okay.
And then they need to sign like 2 of them in free agency and just throw the book at them because they're gonna have the money, and they need to revamp that O line ASAP.
Metcalf, I think your boy Willis, Malik Willis, he looked good yesterday too. I did see him for the Titans. Yeah, Tannehill might be out the door. Tannehill might be on his way out. I hate to say it, but
yeah, he was bad yesterday.
So who might be on the way out?
Tannehill.
Oh, you said Tannehill?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I think after this year, because the thing about it is Tennessee been set up nicely for them to be in position to win. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when your quarterback is the reason for you not winning, and Malik Willis has all the tools there. You know what I mean? He's a big quarterback. He can run. He got a good arm. You know what I mean? I think he gonna demand the respect of the players in the locker room, because they say he came in with a certain type of, swag about him anyway. And I think that may end up being a situation where if he can prove on the field that he can play, I think that they will end up, moving on from Ryan Tannehill. Not to say Ryan Tannehill can't find somewhere to land, or whatever. But like you said, like I was saying, I think Seattle would have been smart to try to get at this point to get a Jimmy G, just to kind of keep the shit right. But then, I heard an analyst say this week that the only tricky thing about that is if your team is terrible, and then let's say you bring a Jimmy G in, and he runs 6 or 7 games. Now all of a sudden it takes you out of the running of getting a Bryce Young or whoever quarterback. So now it's like, does it really make any sense? Because there's nothing worse than being like an NBA team that's 41-41, or being an NFL team that's like 8-9. Because then especially when it comes to like draft situations and certain things, because now you kind of stuck in no man's land. So it's like, and let's look at Indiana Pacers. Indiana Pacers got all these good players they've had over the years, decent players, but they stuck in no man's land because they can't get no past in the 8th seed or 6th seed or whatever. They ain't gonna win no dang championship, so they just there. They just one of the teams that we just said we're gonna put in front of this team, Miami or Brooklyn or Milwaukee, for them to beat on to move on. They just there for decorations. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of what that situation is. Somebody on my TikTok said Bills Mafia. I'm gonna also
say good yesterday. They did, man. Especially that running back James Cook from Georgia and that offense. Ooh.
That's why they didn't trade for Christian.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. Yeah, no, because James
he about as broke down as AD.
I mean, that's because he's everything for Carolina. Like, he wouldn't have to do that in Buffalo, but they saved a lot of assets by getting James. Like, it was a good front office move.
Yeah, because with a running back, you don't need no first round running back in this day and time. You don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Unless I don't really see no team that really needs a first round running back stud that's going to change their world and winning games or not. You know what I mean? I hate to say that about running backs, but you can get that same stud in the 2nd and 3rd round if need be. I don't know where they picked James Cook up from, what round they got him in. But
I think he was like 4th.
First round, I don't think 4 running backs in the first round.
He was like 4th.
That's what I'm saying. So
you're just not doing that without an O-line. Like, it's one of the things where you get the, what's first, the chicken or the egg. You got to build that O-line before you build that running back. Because you're not going to get a Barry Sanders who makes your offensive line look a little better. Like, that ain't happening.
Yeah. Now, I will say, because I got a fan on here talking about the Buffalo Bills, I will say, wishing on the star. I will say this. Good morning. I will say this, that that Josh Allen, Josh Herbert, these players got a lot of pressure on them this year because people are expecting a lot from them too. Basically, if you think about it, they pretty much putting the Chargers and the Buffalo Bills probably in the AFC Championship game. You know what I mean, against each other. That's where that's kind of where all of this is kind of headed. You know what I mean? Now the thing about
they got Kansas City up there.
Huh?
You don't think they still got Kansas City up there?
No,
not this year.
Not from what I'm hearing. No,
yeah,
I don't think. I think most people got Kansas City finishing like third in the division. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, they got them getting into the playoffs as a wild card, but they got.
Hold on, wait a minute. That means the Raiders would have to finish second.
No, they saying the Raiders are gonna finish fourth in a lot of cases.
And they're stupid. They're crazy.
They say
our depth is quality. Wait till I can't wait for the season.
Yeah, they say it's a toss up between the Chargers and Denver being first. The Raiders being fourth. Now, in my eyes, I know we're gonna make our I know Crystal don't like doing this, but I just do it for fun. We make our preseason picks, and then we come back about week 8 or 9 and kind of like make our adjustments on what we're looking at. But I know right before the season we're gonna make our picks. I'm just gonna say this now. I told y'all, until somebody might knock off the champs, I'm putting the champs right there. Until they get knocked off, till you show me something different, because I'm not going off what I don't like. This is what I don't like about the whole Patrick Mahomes scenario. Yes, he had a bad AFC Championship game against Cincinnati. First of all, Cincinnati defense was a pretty decent defense last year. That offensive line was the storyline, but that defense was underrated. 2, you're gonna tell me over a 4-year career, this man had been to 2 Super Bowls, AFC Champion games, MVP. He couldn't get a pass of having a bad playoff game. Because I'm gonna tell you like this: if you go back to Tom Brady's career, all his playoff, he done had some duds. You know what I'm saying? He done had some even if you look at the Super Bowl they won when they beat who was it? They beat 13-3. That wasn't a good look. If they would have lost that game, they might have been talking about Brady's retirement after that game. You know what I'm saying? Because that wasn't the greatest Super Bowl, game or whatever in that situation. Like I said, and he was having a bad AFC Championship game last year. NFC Championship game or NFC divisional game up until that comeback, he was looking kind of suspect. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, I just think that Patrick Mahomes should have been given the benefit of the doubt. He had a bad game, but that wasn't a reflection of his career as a whole. He just had a bad game. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think it was the Super Bowl game when they lost. I don't think that was on him. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. If your whole entire offensive line is hurt, I don't care who you are. You're not winning that game.
You're high on the Chiefs. That's what you're telling us.
I'm not saying I'm high on the Chiefs. What I'm saying is the other teams have to prove to me they can beat them.
The Bengals. I thought the Bengals were the champs.
No, I'm saying in the division.
Oh, okay. My bad.
In the division. I'm saying in the division, I'm not going to have the Chargers, have the Denver Broncos, have the Raiders so they can win the division. No.
Oh, I got you.
I'm not about to just give them the crown just because they made a certain moves. I told y'all from the beginning, I'm still not sold on Denver Broncos weapons. I'm not sold on it. You know what I'm saying?
I remember you saying that.
Yeah, so my thing is they got to prove to me, especially with their tight end or whatever being hurt, and he was like their number one touchdown threat last year. So all of a sudden they starting off behind the 8 ball. It takes some time. Yeah, they number one, Tim Patrick, whatever it was. I think he was their number
Noah,
one. They number
no,
one.
he Noah Fant is their tight end, and he is a difference maker at tight end. When I say
Patrick, he must have been a wide receiver then, but he was their
he
number
was
one.
he was like their second wide receiver though. Jerry Jeudy is their number one guy.
But what I'm saying, touchdown wise, he had the most touchdowns on the team last year.
Oh,
the player that
I think
he's
the only one that stayed healthy. But they got to stay healthy. That's the key for Denver weapons. They all have to stay healthy. They all had little injury spurts here or there. Oh boy, out for the season. But Jared Jeudy can stay healthy, and Noah Fant can stay healthy. Oh, them boy got something. But
you might got something. You gonna tell me their weapons is better than what that San Diego has and what the Raiders has and even what the Chiefs still got. You gonna tell Chiefs like
they're better than the Chiefs. They ain't got nobody but your boy Kelsey. Everybody else is kind of improving. But if I had to just
Miko Hardman going out, I don't know what.
Yeah, he got carted off the field. You still got Juju. I mean, we just don't. Which Juju gonna show up? The Juju that played with AB or the Juju that like to be on TikTok dancing and shit? You know what I mean? Depending on which one gonna show up for you. But I do like that pickup. I do like in that system with Kelsey. I do like that.
Well, my thing too is like I told y'all before. I think what happened last year was a blessing in disguise for Patrick Mahomes when they kind of took away his deep threat at times. You know, Tyreek Hill got open on them deep threats, kind of I think more from broken coverages and Patrick Mahomes running around more than it was designed plays because the way they started bottling it up, teams would just kind of play that too deep safety concept to keep Tyreek Hill from getting open. So I think a lot of those plays were broken plays when he was getting open like that. But what it did was it made Patrick Mahomes to be more of a getting big play after big play after big play. So I think, and then even Travis Kelce said that's the one thing he's seen from him this year is the patience that he has going into the as far as being able to become more like a pocket passer where he might have to do a 8, 9, 10 play drive versus 3 plays and we back in the defense back. And it may actually help the defense to come to think about it because sometimes they would score so fast the defense wouldn't have time to get a cup of Gatorade before they be back on the field. So it might actually help the defense when the defense is the weak link of the team. So it might help them as far as more rest if Kansas City have to be out there and have to like take their time getting the ball down the field. You know what I'm saying? So it's not the worst thing in the world, in that regard. So but like I said, until somebody else show me different, I just because think about even with Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, his best seasons came in the time where the defense was thorough. When the defense wasn't thorough, he struggled too. So who's to say that he's gonna go in there and light the world up in Denver? Not to say Denver don't have a good defense,
because they do.
But the people still asking a lot from him. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they got a good defense, but people asking a lot from him to come in and be the saving, to be Peyton Manning, to be John Elway. You know what I'm saying? So
I think that's what you asking Pat.
Yeah, but he kind of had that ability though.
You asking Pat Mahomes to do that too, and we ain't never seen him have to do that by himself.
Yeah, yes, he pretty much been that way from the beginning. Patrick Mahomes been Superman from the beginning. What you mean?
He got
if you think about it,
Tyreek Hill's been a 2,000-yard receiver every year. I don't know about that one.
But what I'm saying is they asked him from the beginning to throw the ball around a lot. They asked him to throw the ball 40, 50 times. If you look at Russell Wilson's career, his first 2-3 seasons, he was probably averaging 20, 25 throws a game. He wasn't throwing 300-yard games. He was throwing for 250 and whatever. He wasn't throwing for 300 his first few seasons.
So let me kind of put that in perspective for you with Mahomes. A lot of his passes will he throw behind the line of scrimmage to Tyreek Hill, and he'll go get you 50 yards. He'll throw you a bubble screen. They'll throw them little short passes, and Tyreek Hill will take it and take off for 90 yards down the field. So when you don't have that now, like you said, Pat Mahomes is going to have to be more of a cerebral quarterback. I'm not saying he can't, but we just haven't seen it in a full season. And now you have more limited weapons, and they're only going to have Kelsey. You don't think the folks going to take Kelsey away and make you go to everybody else? I think him and Russell Wilson are kind of in the same situation, honestly.
That threat of not having Tyreek is going to be big, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be an adjustment. It's definitely gonna be big, but I just feel like that, and I feel like Andy Reid in his mind, he'll figure it out or whatever.
That's true. I give you that. He do got Andy Reid.
With Donovan McNabb, because I don't think Donovan McNabb would have had the type of success he had without Andy Reid. I just don't see it.
I give
having that type of success and or whatever. So that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying like with Russell Wilson, and I get what you're saying about the bubble screens and everything, but I think that was on purpose with Eric Bieniemy and them, because they knew what type of wide receiver that Tyreek Hill was. Because I think college football, that's exactly how they do things a lot of times. Alabama, Georgia, LSU, certain teams, even Oregon, who was, especially when Oregon was at a high pace offense or whatever, that's how they play. They would do those bubble screens where they knew they had the type of players that was 4-3, 40 type players that could, take a 5-yard route and then take it 8. You know what I'm saying? So I think they kind of knew that or whatever, but I just feel like Andy Reid will be creative enough to use what he has to try to, to do what they have to do. Now, the crazy part about it is if Odell Beckham gets healthy fast enough, he might have a lot of bidders. He might have a lot of people trying to grab him because, Kansas City going to need him. Tampa Bay could use him, but they hurt.
Tampa Bay got Julio. Goddamn, how many wide receivers you want in Tampa Bay?
Man, Julio wide.
Julio, wait, hold up. No, hold up.
Steve know that.
Stop the press. What you said, Crystal? Say that again.
Julio Wash, man.
Now I said that a few weeks ago. Told me I was 8.
I wasn't even going to address Steve. You feel for that, Chris. You know Steve was trolling. You know he was trolling.
No, I'm being for real. No, man. Julio been out there catching touchdowns now. I don't know.
I watched up Julio. He's been talking about this all summer.
No, man.
I think Julio.
Because
I think the issue right now is
mute your phone, baby.
Oh yeah, it's okay, but we can't hear nothing. I think Tom Brady missing right. Tom Brady ain't even at camp, and they don't know he's gonna come back. I think for the first game, but does that affect Julio's game because Julio don't have that timing with him really like that and can't get it now?
Well, when he already threw the ball before August 18th, he just left the team. Wasn't he throwing the ball to him before that?
Yeah, but he didn't play. He didn't play in the game today. He's not playing in the game today or next week.
Right.
Tom Brady.
You didn't really have game time.
Tom Brady left.
Yeah, Tom Brady gone.
But see, what's funny about that whole thing? I hate when people in sports try to like assume what's going on.
Oh yeah, I don't never do that. You don't know what
and it was like, oh well, he might be gone because Giselle was like, oh well, the boys about to go back to school, and we need this quality time before they go back. So
that's exactly what
that's because that's what happened at New England. That's why he told a story on he was on some podcast or whatever, and he told that story because he missed was it 18 whatever with New England or whatever. He missed like a week or two, and Giselle was basically saying like you ain't pulling your weight as far as family. It's family time or whatever. So he had to like go and like do stuff with the family. So that's why they're saying that.
Well, if that's the case, then he should have stayed retired because if he gonna leave, like if that
he should. He probably.
Man, that's the benefit of being the GOAT. You can tell your coach like, look, man, I need a couple weeks to work out this stuff with my family. I'll be back, and they're gonna be like, you damn right, go ahead, do what you got to do.
Man, damn all that. That woman, that man, stop.
That man what?
Yeah. I ain't gonna say what I would have told her. But my ass been at practice. I got championship to win. You can handle that house. You've been doing that shit for 15 years.
And she's sick of it. She's sick of it.
You need to
come get your kids, Tom. Come get your kid.
You know, Tom might have to go with his other kid. You know, he got another baby on the side.
Oh, that's right. He do got another baby. It might have been the other woman.
He's such an athlete.
Yeah, Icon, you talked about family people.
Oh, he's such an athlete.
Now, Icon, you talked about images. Why when Tom Brady had this other baby, ain't nobody came out and said nothing. Now, if LeBron would have did this, you're right. The world would have been
Because it wasn't on his wife, though.
Yeah, was he married at the time? Right? Was he married? I don't think he was married at the time.
I don't think he was married. I don't think so.
Okay.
You know how many NFL players and NBA players probably got side babies. You know what I mean?
They was together. I think.
You know the difference between Tiger Woods and every other smart player that would have been in that situation.
What?
Bro, you work for $1 billion. Just pay this woman what they want. You know what I'm saying? This woman just wanted the money. Just because Tiger Woods, the reason why he got in his situation because he made a decision not to pay these women off. You know what I'm saying? If Tiger Woods going to pay them women off,
no, that ain't what happened.
It was hundreds.
That ain't what happened.
Crystal, what happened?
Wasn't he just messing with just a bunch of different women like that?
A bunch of them came out and said that they was on.
Well, he got caught. He got caught, so it wasn't a matter of like they were trying to get money. I mean, I'm sure he paid something to the women.
He got caught because the woman he was messing with outed him out because he wouldn't pay her off.
It was like
that was the story. That was allegedly the story.
It was like one woman that came out to say something, and then in the midst of it, that's when all the other women that came out. It was like, yeah, me too. It came like a Mr. Me Too. Like I did. Yeah, I did it too. And it was.
But they weren't all trying to get money initially, though, were they?
No, it was just that one. It
wasn't. Yeah, he should have paid her. Yeah, I agree.
And he should not. He should
but
not
I don't
have
think
done.
He would have got outed out if the one that wanted money, huh?
Maybe he shouldn't have did so many, and they were trashy. He was doing trashy low end women though.
Crystal,
he was doing those soccer moms.
I'm so sorry. Steve.
God damn! I thought it was Sunday.
You can't judge a man off of what they say, beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Maybe I
ain't say nothing about being ugly. I ain't say nothing about
you can't say that. What made him trash?
They were.
What made him trash?
Wow. He was messing with regular women. He was fucking with teachers and doctors. He should have been messing with other, royalty type women, I guess. So.
Or women who got something to lose. Yeah, nothing to lose, but them damn boys for it.
What you say, Ika?
Steve, watch your language Sunday morning, Steve.
Me?
You might have kids watching. You hear all this stuff on Sunday morning.
Oh, okay, my bad. I'm sorry. I didn't say that. Crystal started this. She went there. I'm sorry. I ain't never heard
Crystal got represent for the black women. You know the black women. They don't like white women.
I think that's what they came from.
You better come out.
He have one in the fold, boy.
He didn't have that one.
I'm not black.
You know how it is.
What you said, Kate? What you said, Kate?
Yeah, y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is.
Without the knife, ain't it?
She said OJ without the knife. Y'all know how it is. Y'all know how it is. If a black man cheat with a white woman, first thing a black woman looking at, she better be a bad one.
It was 100 of them.
You ain't lying. He had regular soccer.
No, we don't.
It was 100 soccer moms. Like there was
bro had soccer moms out there.
100 soccer moms.
Yeah. You better have lawyers and doctors out there. If you're gonna be a black man, especially on his level, cheating.
Did she take that golf club?
He had 100 PTA presidents. Like, come on, man.
Boy, you stupid. Didn't she beat his hard with that golf club?
But see, think about it. You ain't got. He knew he ain't got to work that hard to get them eat. That's easy prey. You know what I'm saying? That's easy.
That's why I never understood Darren Sharper. Darren Sharper could have went to Lithonia, Georgia, and had any woman he wanted.
And that's the whole thing. His was the ones that he wanted. That was like no.
Why you gonna be out in Lithonia like that, man?
They're my relatives in Lithonia. I know who in Lithonia.
But see, that's the thing. See, I was gonna do this on the 95 South podcast. I was talking to Jacob about this, about doing a show like this, where I was gonna basically have a whole episode with white women or whatever, or they date white women a lot of times.
What you say? Wait, what you
it's
say?
like it's not the caliber of women that they
Hold on. Go back. What you said?
No, listen to what I'm saying.
I'm trying to, because you started breaking up, and you said you were gonna have a whole show with white women. Wait a minute, hold on.
Oh, my bad. No. What I'm saying is, when black men sometimes, when they cheat with white women, and black women look at it and say, "Oh, that's what you cheated on me with." A lot of times, a black man, especially when they not even like on a Tiger Woods level. Let's just say they're a lawyer or a doctor. Now listen to me, Steve. Let's just say a lawyer. Sometimes they gonna go after a woman that they don't have to put that much time and work into trying to go after. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they end up dating with, like, let's just say I'm a lawyer or a doctor. Then I may end up going after a chick that work at Walmart. You feel what I'm saying?
I got you.
Because I know that's gonna be easy to get at versus if I go after somebody on that's like in my level, I might have to wine and dine her. I might have to have certain expectations. So that's why I'm saying that's why I kind of end up like that sometimes.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying when these ball players, they know to get the stripper in the club, you know, he around soccer moms because that's that golf world or whatever. He going after certain moms because he going to soccer games with his kids. So, you know what I mean, or whatever. And then if his wife at the time and she couldn't go, he's showing up at the game with the kids with the soccer games. So, you know, of course, they looking at, oh, shoot, he billionaire. I don't care. I don't know her like that. I don't care who your wife is. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah. Tiger ain't got that. No, he did. So you said now, you said y'all were gonna hold up. Now you said on the 95 South show. I need to know what episode this is. Y'all gonna have a whole bunch of white women on there? No, that's what I thought you said. I thought you said that, and I promise I want to see that show. Please let me see. I want to know.
That's not what I said.
So they're gonna shut you and Jacob up. They're gonna shut y'all off the air before y'all get started.
No, that's not what I said. I said I'm gonna have an episode because a lot of times black women, and tell me if I'm wrong, Kristen. Black women sometimes be wanting to know from a black man when you cheat or whatever, or when you date, if you gonna cheat, why do you pick the caliber of women you do to cheat with? Why do you cheat down? You know what I'm saying? The cheddar cheap.
Oh yeah. Okay. I got you. Okay, I completely. So you were breaking up, so I couldn't hear you. That's my fault. My bad. You were breaking up. I couldn't hear you. That's my fault. I
was gonna have a whole episode. I was gonna talk about how a black man, when he cheats, what comes into play with. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was.
Yeah, but it has sounded like he was going with. It sounded like he was going with something about white women. A black woman don't care that you whatever you do with a white woman. She really doesn't. Yeah, we could care less. It's when you talk down on black women, when you got a black mama, and then you go mess with a white woman.
And that is what it is, my boy.
Yeah.
Talk down on the black woman and to get a white
woman. Then you start talking down on them, and then
like your preference. You like, I like white women. They like, all right, but it shouldn't be I like white women because black women, blah blah blah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the only time we actually really care that they're white or whatever. So yeah, we don't care.
All right, so let's go back to sports.
How about them Raiders?
I don't know if it's you or me. It might be me that's breaking up in here. I mean, what about him? I couldn't hear. I didn't hear my. I don't know if I might have been breaking up in here on my end. I'm not sure who. How. If y'all heard each other, I couldn't hear y'all. But it could have been me.
Okay.
You know, I'm in a small town, so everybody probably got up. Start using the internet out here, so got no reception.
No, I said, how about them Raiders?
He said, "What about
small town boy?" Like,
I mean, you got to look at our quality of depth. Is we have some high quality depth on the team. You know what I'm
You
saying?
keep talking about that, but you got the worst quarterback in the division.
No, we don't. Actually, we have who I can't remember which sports guy was talking about it, but they were talking about like Russ has the name, but Russ ain't been Russ for about 3 years. But he has the name.
Been playing in Seattle.
Yeah. Hey, at the end of the day, you are where you are, and you
come on now, don't do that. Because everybody said Matt Ryan is going to be MVP this year because he was in Atlanta. So
hey, I don't care about is where you're at and what you did. Now he got the what did he say? Y'all saw what I put in the chat. He got the most passing yards in the. He's third on the list or second on the list for yards in the first 8 seasons. He had the most game-winning drives last year. He was top 10 like passing percentage. Hey man, you can say a lot of stuff, but Derek Carr ain't no Trump, man.
I ain't saying he ain't. I just said he ain't the best. When you rank all the quarterbacks in your division,
because you have Mahomes, who's arguably the best quarterback in the league. You have Justin Herbert, who has the most upside out the group.
Yep.
He ain't did shit because he lost to us 2 or 3 times.
He's coming. He almost beat y'all last year,
but he didn't.
So don't we naturally
but
think
our quarterback won the game? We didn't run the ball over and over. Like we won the game on the quarterback on.
So don't you think the maturation of Justin Herbert is now beating the Raiders?
No, you got to show that you can beat them.
What you want to bet? How many cases you want to bet? I got.
Of what? For what? That we finish higher than the Chargers?
Damn, you're right.
We're going to finish higher than the Chargers.
We can't even bet alcohol, bro.
I don't see Justin Herbert being an MVP caliber quarterback either.
We can't even bet alcohol, Ken. You can't drink in your county.
I got some Patron, right? Oh, yeah, I know, right? I found some, though. I got some.
What you mean you can't drink in your county? What you mean?
So, all right, so fun fact, it's ain't about sports. But you know what I'm saying? Me and my wife, we was trying to get a bottle delivered to the crib, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't working, no delivery. So I was like, let me get in the car. I'm gonna go to a liquor store. So I go to a liquor store and they're like, oh, we don't serve liquor here. Only beer and wine close to your county lines. And I was like, I didn't know what that meant. I was like, huh? So my wife told me, she's like, yeah, I ordered and they wouldn't deliver. And I was like, they wouldn't deliver. Find out we have you can only buy wine and beer in our county. Ain't that something?
I ain't never heard of such foolery.
It's called Dry County. They have them. They have them in Mississippi. They have them in. I don't think Georgia has
that
it.
Sounds like a sundown town. Is that a sundown town? What's going on?
Nah. Because we got that we got them flashlights in the car when the sun goes down.
Well, see, Connecticut is kind of like that too, though.
Fayetteville like that too.
Connecticut, they only sell liquor. In Connecticut, they only sell liquor in. Connecticut, they only sell liquor in. I said in Connecticut, they only sell liquor in liquor stores. So like if you go into Connecticut, you're not gonna find no kind of beer, alcohol in Walmart. You can't just go to they're gonna have it in grocery stores. You can only go to a liquor store in Connecticut to buy liquor. You know what I'm saying? Like you might find a couple in places like make gas stations, maybe, but a lot of gas stations don't sell them either in Connecticut. So you got to go to a liquor store.
So what, Ken? They get what? You can't even go to a liquor store and get no liquor.
Well, they don't have liquor stores. They
only have liquor stores. What, Ken?
Wine and spirits.
Oh man,
which is crazy. But well, there's a will, there's a way.
So you over there getting drunk off mimosas? That's what you telling me?
We got. I had to take that drive. That's all. But shout out. So the spot I found is a real good spot. I guess where they at, they don't really drink a lot of quote unquote liquor. So the prices was real good. Like on some, you have no idea what this price should be. So I was like, oh wow, that's real cheap on here. So I found my go-to liquor store. It's a 15-20 minute drive, but in Texas everything is 45 minutes away. That's normal.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
No, hold on.
That'd be crazy.
No, I did have a topic. I had a topic I want to talk about this morning, but again, Jacob ain't here. But I still talk about it. We were talking about Dan Marino versus Aaron Rodgers. And after a while, y'all got to take some of them old heroes, them old quarterbacks that y'all love that didn't really do much, but were good. You got to let them go.
Dan Marino shouldn't be on what list should he be on?
Nobody's at this point. You can't tell me Drew Brees, Peyton, and Tom Brady.
Dan Marino ain't nothing but a Matt Stafford. He just threw for a lot of yards.
No, Stafford just won the championship. You got to take him out of that.
I mean, at that point, you're right.
Well, I mean, like I told Jacob, he had brought this up to me yesterday, or whatever, and I told him, I said, just to be fair, I haven't seen Dan Marino play in so long, so I don't even want to like really compare him to like Aaron Rodgers like that. I just know Dan Marino in his time, he was great. Now the thing about, I will say this, you got to think about at that particular time, he kind of stood out so much because there wasn't a passing league. And if there wasn't really a passing league at the time, it was more of a, run, and then you like play action pass type league. You pass the ball when you need to, not just because, you just felt like I'm just gonna get up and that's what we do every Sunday. So I think at that particular time, Dan Marino was like the I ain't even gonna say that because if I say it, it's gonna start a whole nother argument.
He's the one that started the change.
Let's put it like that. He was just that player that stood out because Miami didn't have a running game at all. So they threw the ball 40 times a game because they didn't have no running game. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. They never really drafted or would come to running backs or whatever. They was one of those teams that could never get the running back right. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think his arm strength and his accuracy puts him up there with Aaron Rodgers, but I would definitely put Aaron Rodgers because stuff Aaron Rodgers does with the football, I ain't seen too many people do with a football Aaron Rodgers could do with football. You know what I'm saying? That's why I still put him in high regard, even though he get on my nerves with other stuff. But
now I can separate. Now as a person, he ain't really, he ain't that good.
Talent-wise, it's not too many quarterbacks talent-wise on his level. I would put Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Brett Favre. Them are probably the three that come top of my head as far as like that arm talent that I put up there. I don't put too many people arm talent with them three. You know what I'm saying? So, but like I said, I get what Jacob was saying, but I kind of agree. I see where y'all coming from too. Like, at some point you got to give it up for what's going on right now. What Josh Allen did last year in the playoffs told me a lot, but he still got to prove that he can win at a high level. But I do see what people see in Josh Allen, but he still got to prove he got to still win at a high level consistently.
I don't know, man. I think Buffalo. I like Buffalo. I'm high on Buffalo, but it's just something about them. And when they get to the playoffs, I don't know why. They never seem to seal the deal for me. I don't know why.
Because Josh Allen, he looks good at quarterback, and their offense looks okay enough, but their defense doesn't get the props that it deserves. So it's a top defense. Like, it was number one last year, but you only heard about Josh Allen. So I think his defense sets him up and saves a lot of stuff for the Bills. That if he had a average defense, he wouldn't be the talk of the town like he is.
But the defense couldn't stop your boy last year, Pat Mahomes.
I mean,
he went down the last two drives and he was just like carving their ass up.
He's going best versus the best. Like, you're playing against Andy Reid. Andy Reid's one of the best offensive minds ever. And the quarterback, and they freestyle that play. Did you see the joint with Kelsey was like, I'm just going to slow down,
I seen that.
Now the game really made me like they kind of look Josh Allen kind of suspect a little bit, and I know the wind was bad and all the environment wasn't the greatest in the world. That first game against New England game.
Oh man, they just ran ball.
Oh man. Are you serious?
That's how the game. Huh? Who said that?
Oh no, you got me on that one.
My bad. I'm multitasking and
Can't be that spell by
man's trying to cook breakfast.
Yeah, man.
Trying to cook breakfast. Overcook the toast.
They said, you gotta put the pepper, salt and pepper in the eggs.
I thought it was
No, that wouldn't be. I don't got the board
That
on
was a sound effect.
It sounded clean though, didn't
Okay,
it? Like
but
a
yeah,
clean,
I
smooth.
think that's the type of game that Josh Allen got to win.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely.
Yeah.
So that's
Give me-
that's on clean because I mean, what the game like 9-3 or
Yeah,
something like that. Like, and then every time Josh Allen got out there, it was like three and out every single time.
Yeah.
I'm like, if you got that kind of arm and you gonna be that guy. Them type of games.
Well, his arm didn't
you
really
gonna
matter
be
in
Mac
that
Jones?
game.
I was gonna say, but Icon, you
His
need
arm didn't matter in that game. That was the whole point.
you need a running
He was
back.
too windy.
And really, it was overtime when you think about it because they was going on each other, and it's just they lost the flip.
No, he talking about the New England
No. He's talking about New England.
when they just ran the ball
The New England game
35 times, 40 times.
It was a monsoon out
Yeah.
there. Well, it was like
There's always
like
another game on instead of the Patriots game.
So what now?
There's always another game on instead of the Patriots game. There's always another one that I'm going to watch.
Okay, nigga, take it easy.
wow.
I was about to say, now y'all was buddy yesterday. Y'all were ganging up yesterday. Y'all gang. Now today y'all sitting here taking shots at each other. Huh?
Look,
Not to take a shot at everybody's team.
What you said, Chris?
You know what, KB? You know what KB doing that? KB doing that because what's called not here today. Jacob not here to go.
Actually, I was going to talk nice about the Cowboys at the game last night. I was going to actually talk nice. So he missed his nice week.
Did they look good last night?
They look pretty good, man. Running the ball, they look more and more like they don't need Zeke.
For real.
They look like they don't need Zeke.
Their defense played pretty well. You know what I'm saying? They were running the ball. Malik Davis and the other dude they were toting that thing last night.
Okay.
But he missed his happy week, so you know.
I think the Cowboys got an advantage week 1, man, with Tom Brady being. I know Tom Brady don't need practice. I know he needs to go, but with Godwin being hurt, you still got a new Julio in that thing. I think the Cowboys might be able to get them boys week 1. I don't know.
Not the way Diggs playing.
Oh yeah, Diggs look so bad. Oh my god.
But who gonna throw the ball to?
Who?
Got Mike Evans.
Chris Godwin gonna be. Well, Mike Evans gonna be the only one you can double team.
Julio. You still got Julio.
And the white boy, the white speedster. What's his name?
Time out. Flag on the play. You cannot use the word. You cannot say they got Julio after the way you done trashed this man all summer. You cannot do that.
Man, listen, the man, he out there in practice catching. I can't say nothing. I can't have nothing to say.
They got Scotty Miller. They got some guys.
Yeah, they got Scotty Miller. What? Tyler Johnson.
Oh, they got Russell Gage from the Falcons. They got Russell Gage.
He hurt. He out for 8 weeks.
Damn.
Yeah,
I guess they playing with Phil. I guess they out there playing to get their Julio syndrome.
See how you do? See how you do?
He started rubbing on the team.
Somebody got the Julio syndrome. Nope. But listen.
So they did have a list out of teams that went in last place last year, right? So every last place team, do y'all think they got a chance to go? Anybody has a chance to go worst to first? Is there any team you can see that finished last year that could finish in the first place this year?
Okay, let's go division by division. Okay, we got NFC East, who was in last with Giants, right?
Yeah.
Only way I would see Giants even having a chance is if the other teams had like significant injuries, like if Dak went out again, or I don't even say Jalen Hurts. If they had started having a lot of injuries like Baltimore did, or whatever, then maybe the Giants would have an outside chance.
I think the Giants got the worst shot, man, out of anybody. I think the Giants got the worst chance out of anybody.
I would say, I don't really see it.
What you think, Chris? What you think about the Giants?
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, I was thinking they may have the best chance. Because NFC East ain't really stacked though.
I guess you could say, yeah. If you look at
you never know the ball to walk. Because the thing about it, the Giants did compete in a lot of the games in the NFC East games. It wasn't like they was getting blown out in every game. They was competing. They just couldn't get the job done at the end. But I think they ended up like 2-4 or something last year in the division.
Yeah,
So
I mean, Saquon was hurt. They offense was. I wanted that the OC first year.
Yeah,
So
it was their first year. Yeah.
Kadarius Toney wasn't. He was up in and out. Knox, like they have
pieces,
some
man.
weapons.
They had the rookie sack leader last year. They got some pieces.
Yeah, now they got Thibodeau. They still got guys on Leonard. They still got guys. So I mean, they could battle for third.
yeah, well, so okay, so now we got NFC South. Who
The
was it Carolina or it was Carolina or the Panthers? No, they don't have no shot.
Nah, I ain't first Baker or Sam Darnold. So yeah, I'm with you.
Shot. Zero shot. Mm-hmm. What you think, Crystal?
Oh no, I don't think Panthers. No, they're not going last to first. No.
Your coworker
You
gonna
got
be
the
mad.
Saints and you got Tampa. So no.
I know you got some coworkers that Carolina fans. They're gonna be mad.
You know it. You know it. Well, they get on my nerves too. Yeah.
So what we got?
KB, what you think?
Yeah, I still think the Panthers. I don't see them. They may be better than the Falcons. They may move up, and depending on what they do at quarterback, the Saints. I mean, they could potentially move up to.
Oh, you disrespectful.
The second. I mean, because remember, they were undefeated the first 6 games.
But imagine who they played: the Giants. I think they played the Jaguars, the Jets. Yeah, they were undefeated, but it was fool's gold.
I mean, yeah, but what they start off now. I don't know what their schedule is, but I mean, if everybody can stay healthy, they got potential to end up like third or second.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So we got So next we got NFC North. Who ended up last place last year?
Chicago. Nah.
No.
That's
I think Minnesota is going to be right there with Green Bay this year. You know what I'm saying? So I would say I can say it's going to come down to Green Bay and Minnesota if anything. I think Detroit going to be a little bit better.
Oh no, Detroit was. I'm sorry. What was it? Detroit or were they better?
It was Detroit. It wasn't Chicago. I think it was Detroit because Detroit only won 3 games.
Yeah, I think Chicago only won 4 or 5. It wasn't too much of a difference, but okay, Detroit.
The Lions won 3 to
Well, the Lions had a chance to win by 6 or 7 though.
The Lions only won 3 games.
They was like 0-12 before they finally won a game or something like that. And then,
but they was in all of them. Remember?
Yeah.
They were all real close initially.
Mm-hmm.
The Lions are going to be better than the Bears.
Yeah. I think the Lions might win about 7 games.
Oh shit!
I would give them 7. I give them like 5.
Go to parade.
That's high. That's high. I will. You 7?
Yeah, I ain't giving them 7. They get like 4, 5.
I would say maybe
they
4.
Won 3 last year. I don't think they're gonna win more than 3, 4.
Yeah,
5.
they went 4 or 5.
I think
only won 7.
You only gonna get one more win from last year?
Yeah, one more. That's all.
1 or 2. Yeah, they ain't getting better. They just got a fast guy.
Them jokers there, bro. You ain't seen Hard Knocks, have you?
Right. Clearly you ain't watching Hard Knocks.
Yeah, them jokers ain't no good.
Golly.
Anyway. Let me see. Detroit. I mean, no, ain't nobody. Aaron Rodgers. Well, I don't know. I think Minnesota a challenge for that division this year. So no, I don't know about that one.
Well, Jacob said they're gonna win 8. So,
oh my God, go back to sleep, Jacob.
So now we got the NFC West. Last year was
Seattle.
They're gonna be right there again.
Yeah.
So we ain't got to worry about. So let's go over to the NFC North. AFC North. We got last year was the Steelers, wasn't it?
Was it the Steelers or was it the?
It might have been the Browns.
No, because the Steelers made the playoffs, didn't it?
Steelers made the
playoffs. So it was the
Browns or Baltimore. No, the Bengals won the division. The Bengals won the division.
Steelers made it to the playoffs. Was it
Had
Baltimore?
to be the Browns.
Because nobody was really terrible in that division.
Let me see.
They was just all like they was kind of all like 7 and 10ish, 8 and 9ish, whatever.
The Ravens were last. The Ravens and Browns had the same
record. They won like 8-9 games, didn't they?
Yeah, 8. I definitely think the Ravens can go.
So they have the best chance of winning. If you look at it from that standpoint, I would say the Ravens definitely have the best chance of coming because theirs was based on injury more than anything else. Because they had so many players hurt. They started recruiting people from like UPS and Walmart to come play. You know what I'm saying? So definitely Baltimore. Then we got the NFC West. I mean the AFC West. Last year was what the Raiders. That was the Raiders made the playoffs.
No, the Broncos. It was the Broncos.
So Broncos definitely. So we got the two teams. We got Broncos and Baltimore.
Yeah.
So then we go to the AFC South. Houston, no chance.
No, it went in Houston. It was the Jags, and the Jags got a way better team. But
the Jags will be it. They'll be better.
They ain't gonna beat nothing.
They're not gonna beat the Titans.
No, but they got the best shot.
You think so? What? Over Baltimore?
No. Just because they got Travis Etienne back, don't mean they're gonna win those.
No, I mean they picked up a lot of pieces and a competent coaching staff.
But we talking about going from worst to first, though, Ken.
Who else did you name that was in worst that can go to first other than them?
The Ravens?
The Ravens and the
the Broncos?
The Broncos beat the Bengals. They still ain't got nobody. They gave away all their weapons. They didn't. Who they gonna throw it to? The 18th tight end.
Who, the Ravens?
Yes, they drafted like 2 tight ends, and
that's how they throw the ball to anyways, the tight ends.
And that's why they gonna be in the last place.
That's the way they play. They was in first place throwing the tight ends before that. So what you mean?
They had a weapon. They had a threat.
Butterfinger Marquise.
Hey, but you still got to guard him if he out there.
You talking about Compton Brown?
Don't do that. It's Hollywood, baby.
Compton Brown.
Hey, he's a downfield threat. You got to guard him. Now they ain't got one. I mean, they can try to say Bateman is, but
you got to guard him. He was missing our wide open throws. You ain't got to guard him. You ain't got to guard him. You got to just be low. He might catch it. We'll see. Well, if he catch it, oh well. He like that 3-point shooter that you let open. If he make the shot, you just live with it. That's what yeah, okay. He might catch it, he might not. Okay, if he catch it, oh well. We live to see another day. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. But no. But I think Baltimore has a legit chance to be first. You know what I'm saying? So, because they throwing the ball to tight ends in the running game. That's what their game is based off of. They don't really need a wide receiver, to be honest with you. Matter of fact, Marquise Brown came out the other day in an interview and said the reason why he wanted to leave because he wanted to feel wanted. He said, when my team can win, regardless if I play or not, then it's not a good feeling. He said, I want to go somewhere where I can actually contribute to a winning team.
So he went to the Cardinals?
I'm just saying he gonna get the ball thrown to him. You know what I'm saying? In Baltimore, he may not get balls thrown to him based on the way they play offense. Not as consistently as he wanted to be. So that's what. So I kind of agree with what he was saying, and especially when you got Butterfingers. If I'm Lamar, no, I ain't throwing to you this time. So
that round the pound shit sweet until you got to catch up because you're behind 3 touchdowns because everybody keep throwing it over your head.
Yeah. So and he only like 5'11", so it's bad enough you can't catch and you little. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So what we got left? We got the NFC, AFC
East. The Jets.
No, hell no. Hell no.
Not with that.
No. If the Jets win the division, I'll run through the street butt naked. I ain't the Jets. It ain't about to happen. I'll put. They tell me. How Shannon skip talking about 10 cases of Diet Mountain Dew. I'll put 50 cases. Diet Mountain Dew ain't no way. No, ain't gonna happen. Nope.
Oh man! All right, so we said you said the Ravens got the best chance. Yeah, we had the Giants,
Ravens, and the Broncos. Those are two got the best legit chance of winning their divisions.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I don't even really think that's a really like a surprise thing to say. So it's not like in past seasons when a person went from worst to first to worst to first, and you like, oh, I ain't see this coming. You know what I'm saying? Like
now if another one of those teams do it, if the Jets do it, we said you got you running through the street naked if that happened. And then if the Jags do it, that would be shocking. The Giants, like Crystal said, it's not really shocking if the Giants do it. Hell, anybody can win that division any year, really.
Yeah, because no team has won the division 2 years in a row since like 08 or something.
We know the Seahawks gonna be worse in their division, probably worse in the NFL. So
the only way they would the division is everybody on every other team in that division quarterback and like best players got hurt at the same time.
Well, hell, their quarterback already hurt from the neck up. So shit, both up. That means let me stop cursing. Jeez, I'm sorry. I had a long Saturday night. I feel like it's still Saturday. Both of their quarterbacks still hurt from the neck up. It seemed like Gino played horrible against backups. Like I really watched Gino stay in the whole game during there against the Bears, and they didn't score. Plus, they scored in the fourth quarter with 2 minutes left, and he went in the game no more. That's really how bad it was with Geno Smith against the Bears.
But that what happened when you got these old archaic coaches who think they can just change the world off of them being a coach, like Bill Belichick and Pete Carroll. They just feel like, I can play with anybody. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened. You see these young coaches, they go out and get their quarterback. The only person that's old as hell that understand it like a Andy Reid. No, I need me a thoroughbred. These old ass coaches that have.
I think Bill Belichick. You don't think Mac Jones a quarterback?
No, he ain't. No, he gonna change the world. He gonna do nothing. What they gonna do? You think he gonna win the Super Bowl with Mac Jones? Stop. No.
I think it'll be more because of the defense, but I think Mac Jones is a serviceable quarterback.
Well, my thing is, okay, if you think he's a serviceable quarterback, then get that man some real weapons. You ain't trying to get the man no weapons. You got these slow. I'm sorry, I don't cuss myself. You got these slow but doggone tight ends that can't get open. That's the main thing they've been talking about Patriots camp the whole time. Nobody can get open, and then you go out and get.
Our tight ends can get open. Thank you. It's our wide receiver.
The receiver, they seen the receiver ain't beat nobody in camp. Yeah, who y'all number one receiver? The guy he played for
probably Jacoby Myers.
Or what about don't y'all got Parker? Who got Parker?
We got him. He can get open.
And they said that Parker before he got there, he said he was last year. They did a thing. They got they got numbers for everything. They said Parker was the had the least getting open, whatever you call it, open the least amount of any receiver like that played a certain amount of plays or whatever the case may be.
Should he stay hurt?
Huh?
He stay hurt, but it'll be about how they use him though.
They got that boy Bourne. That boy Bourne, he pretty good. I like Bourne.
Yeah, you're right.
Come on now, y'all talking about all these players that don't know.
He's from Miami.
He's from Miami. Who they are.
Wait a minute, hold on. Ain't he a Miami Hurricane?
Yeah, I can be objective. He wasn't doing nothing in Miami either. I don't even know how he got
drafted. He's still on that 2000 team.
I see. I was being honest. He wasn't really doing nothing in Miami, so I don't even know how he got drafted. But he got drafted off of speed. So I don't know how he got drafted, but he wasn't doing nothing in Miami, really.
He went to the U.
Out of all the receivers we had in Miami, he ain't none of the one I remember. I want to remember. So I don't know what I mean. So anyway, y'all, about to get up out of here. It's been a crazy weekend for myself. So I'm kind of stuck. I actually literally got stuck out here. Literally.
For real?
Yeah, I'm in 30 minutes from a city called Madison, Kansas, and it's like 700 people population. Really?
Oh, you in Kansas?
Yeah, and so where I'm at, there's no Uber, no taxi, nothing. So I got a taxi got to come from all the way from Topeka, which is like an hour and a half to come get me this morning to take me to, because I could have had him come yesterday, but it would have been like a few hours. So I was like, man, just come get me in the morning. I ain't about to be sitting in no car, no hot car for 4 hours waiting for no taxi. So I gotta go. I gotta drop this truck off. Just ran off 30 minutes from here. So I just told him to meet me out there in like an hour, this morning, and they could take me down to Independence, which is another hour and a half away or whatever from there. So, like I said, and this all me just trying to get to Florida. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to just get to Florida or whatever at this point. But yeah, so it's been a crazy, crazy morning. But other than that, man, like I said, when I said earlier this morning, for y'all, we got ones that got on late this morning. So we back with CV Sports Network. We still, we partnered up with them. So we're not exclusively with CV Sports, but we back with them. So they will be airing our stuff as long like every Sunday mornings. We back, on Wednesday we be doing CV Sports Network. We back with them. We got, independent chicks entertainment, as y'all can see. And we got She Real Radio. So all that's like part of what we got going on. Plus, of course, we always been with 95 with Next Level DJs also.
Oh, yeah, Dad.
So we got all that, going for us too. But anyway, so I want to thank everybody for coming on this morning. Everybody that checked us out, all the TikTok people. You know what I'm saying? I had TikTok people that was chiming in all this morning too while we was doing our thing. So I actually probably had, but I had like 500-600 people on my TikTok page. You know what I'm saying? That were watching this morning. So that was definitely a good look, or whatever. So, I guess I'll just see y'all Wednesday. And do this again once again. So y'all have a blessed day.
All right, we out.